Irish guy, and it's official. Jesse Lingard secretly wants to burn off Ralph Rangnick's face with an iron. I mean, if this was a world with no consequences, I'm sure he'd love to chain him to a sink in some abandoned toilets in Slovenia, right? Maybe go full on Silence of the Lambs and eat his face off for tea. Ugh, I mean, I'd imagine trying to chew Ralph Rangnick's wrinkly skin would probably be like trying to eat a leather jacket. But Manchester United have ruined Jesse Lingard's career, right? Well, that's the narrative his brother is feeding. Last night, Man United played Brentford and gave farewells to Nemanja Matic and Juan Mata. But Lingard instead, left to rot on the bench. I mean, sure, it's a little annoying, I guess, but his brother then pipes up on Instagram.
20 years of blood, sweat and tears, 4 domestic trophies, 3 cup final goals, not even a farewell. No wonder it's Conference League next year. Attacking players for celebrations when the club's being sold to the Super League. Okay, class of 92, Busby babes. You're run by people who don't even know the offside trap. Classes, and the fans need to realise. Good night, God bless, ta-ra. Been there since 9 years of age and didn't even get a send-off.
Didn't even get a I disagree with that, because Jesse Lingard has been getting a 6-year-long send-off because truthfully, he should have been kicked out the door in 2016. Don't you dare mention the Busby babes, because finishing 6th in the Premier League should be a travesty for a club like Manchester United. Jesse Lingard is about to do that for the 3rd time in 5 years. To him, that's not a disgrace. It's the norm. I mean, it would have been 4 times for him if Southampton had won just 1 more game in 2016. And Lingard wants recognition for that. What, a full house singing his name when he's never been involved in a title race. I mean, you're lucky to be leaving the club without the fans queuing up to throw shepherd's pie at your car. Manchester United have apparently messed this guy around for the last year, right? Wrong. I'm sorry, but no. Go back to last summer and all the papers were adamant that Lingard wanted to return from his West Ham loan spell to have another crack at playing under Ollie. That was his decision to stay. If he so badly wanted to move on, then he should have gone last summer, because we all know it's a lot more difficult to leave in January. You would think the arrival of Jadon Sancho would have made him realise that actually, I might not actually be needed here, and that maybe the gaffer is more likely to eat his grandmother's poo off a knife than pick me in his starting 11. But I'm gonna say this. Manchester United have had a monstrously rubbish season where the pundits are trying to work out a life-size game of Cluedo to try and work out who could have been the bad egg, the evil version of Humpty Dumpty in that dressing room. I think I found it. I mean, I know, there's like one of those mind-blowing parent-teacher meetings, right? Where the mother finally realizes that her angelic little boy is actually a troublesome brat who keeps trying to blind his classmates with a compass. Poor sweet little Jesse. He's the victim here, right? Well, no, This has been Jesse Lingard's season.
Jesse Lingard tells Man United Chiefs he wants to stay, putting West Ham transfer in doubt. Jesse Lingard buys Rainbow Six Siege esports team and rebrands it J Links. Man United star likes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer outpost on Instagram as Bosnia's exit. Jesse Lingard's brother takes swipe at Man United over transfer demand. Jesse Lingard apologises to Manchester United fans after embarrassing Liverpool defeat. Scholes reveals Lingard has told him Man United dressing room is a disaster in stunning revelation. Jesse Lingard wearing gloves to Liverpool on April 19th sums up Man United. Jesse Lingard unhappy with Manchester United manager Ralph Rangnick.
This man is a walking headache. This whole season is just being poor little Jesse publicly hinting on social media about wanting to quit. I'm sorry, is this Manchester United or goddamn Little Mix? By the way, that's trying to hit 150,000 subscribers as soon as possible. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, slap the big fat red button, you absolute legend. Anyway, back into the video. Passively aggressively trying to get your manager sacked on the internet. And don't you dare give me that same excuse.
I don't know how to use the computer. I was just trying to access my emails and my finger slipped.
You know, a bit like what Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain said when he accidentally liked a Wenger outpost. Nah, I'm sorry, that one doesn't wash with me because Lingard is a footballer who lives on the internet. I mean, if this wasn't intentional, then honestly, I will happily eat peanut butter out of the sink. Timing is not Lingard's strong suit. Good gracious, this is a man who opened his clothing range, J Links, 2 days before you lost to Liverpool and saw Jose Mourinho sacked. I mean, go back to February 2017. Man United were languishing 6th in the Premier League, and yet here he was dancing in the changing rooms with Pogba after a goalless draw with Hull. I'm sorry, no, if Man United can't score a single goal against Hull City, then you should be going home that night and smacking your head off a TV, not dancing to Shakira. I mean, even 3 years ago, this man's career was hanging by a thread after that stupid Snapchat video in Miami, again when Man United were finishing 6th in the league, ending the season with 2 points from a possible 15, including a 2-0 defeat at home to Cardiff. I mean, this is the fella who'd probably be caught at the back of a funeral, playing Raid Shadow Legends on his phone. So again, timing is not his strong point, But
Jesse Lingard's brother blasts West Ham fans and surprising spat over Man United fans.
yeah, here was his brother angry that West Ham fans on the internet said they didn't actually need to sign Lingard in January.
From the comments, I can see that most would believe you don't need him and wouldn't even start. Exact same was said before he last came. Staggering to see that many don't actually want him either. Firmly noted.
Firmly noted. Christ above, Louis. Why are you getting so offended on Jesse's behalf? This was back in late November, when West Ham were 3rd in the Premier League. They were allowed to feel that Lingard wasn't actually needed anymore. And did Manchester United really need this in the press? 3 days before that 4-1 defeat to Watford, which got Ollie sacked. What is it with this guy hogging the limelight and causing distractions the same week his boss is about to get the boot? It's happened twice now. He's like that annoying employee in an office who makes everything about themselves. I mean, when Colleen, the 42-year-old secretary, gets given a birthday cake, oh, the jealous, moody colleague decides to then rub poo on the walls and maybe throw a cup of hot coffee on the intern's lap. Anything to get some attention on themselves.
Jesse Lingard's agents attend Newcastle v Tottenham as his J-Link's Instagram account hints at transfer from Man United.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're an agent trying to get your client a January move to Newcastle, then do it in secret. Do not publish a screenshot of you at St. James's Park to his 9.5 million followers on Instagram, many of whom are children and can't keep a secret, especially not the day after Manchester United just conceded 4 at Leicester. This is like when Will Smith embarrassed himself in front of the whole world last month. It would be like if the following day his wife then released a Snapchat story of her watching Netflix in the bed of 50 Cent. I mean, way to kick a man when he's down. I mean, the following month that same account was reposting a video of him scoring a goal for West Ham. You know, the team who are ahead of Manchester United in the league, a team who are their top 4 rivals. The fact that David Moyes has a team ahead of Manchester United in the table 8 years after being sacked. And no, every acknowledgement of West Ham at Old Trafford should be instantly banned. Instead, you've got this donut actively celebrating a West Ham goal. Jesse Lingard wasn't given the option to say goodbye. Big boo-hoo. If it was up to Jesse, he would have been out the door in January on the first flight to Newcastle without a goodbye. Now listen, I realise he'll feel shortchanged because the club blocked the move, demanding a £2.5 million loan fee from Newcastle, full coverage of his wages, plus a £12 million bonus if he keeps them up. That's over £15 million to borrow him for 3.5 months. Is this a joke? I mean, Manchester United paid less to take Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus. But let's not forget, Man United were dealt a massive bombshell on deadline day when they had to deal with their golden boy getting turfed out of the club. So of course Jesse had to stay. And let's not forget, is he not the dressing room leak? The guy who told Paul Scholes the dressing room was a disaster? Can you blame Ralph for not wanting to pick him after that? I mean, this is a man who has publicly undermined his manager. I mean, remember in February when he denied Rannick's public claim that he asked for days off work? Rannick is a man who rejected the Chelsea interim gig last season because he didn't want to be, in his words, a lame duck. You know, a bit like that fill-in temporary teacher at school. You know, some 23-year-old uni graduate with a man bun and who has the authority of a postbox. I mean, that was Rannick, and Lingard has taken advantage of that. Leaks to the media, contradicting his boss in public. Can I ask why? Why is Jesse entitled to a send-off? I'm sorry, this is Manchester United, a club which should be based on a culture of winning. This isn't like bringing all the dead characters back for the season finale of Lost. No, there was 3 points to win.
Oh, but one Mata got one.
Yeah, one Matt has been good as gold. A guy who didn't get a minute of Premier League football until April and yet didn't make a peep. He has been a top-class consummate professional. But I'm sorry, no, Jesse's brother. Can you please stop acting like a teenage girl who's just walked in on her Prince Charming licking marmalade off her grandmother's stomach? I mean, ask Roy Keane if he got a precious final run out at Man United. Crazy well, John O'Shea and Wes Brown gave a combined 32 years of service to the club, winning every trophy under the sun, playing in multiple Champions League finals. And yeah, did they get an Old Trafford send-off against Blackpool in that title party at Old Trafford in May 2011? Now, again, they were just both tucking into a sheet milk yogurt in the stands before getting tossed out to Sunderland in a bin bag. I mean, Brown's last game for the club was in March. Ruud van Nistelrooy and Robin van Persie, 2 of the greatest goal scorers in the history of the club. Van Nistelrooy was left out of the matchday squad in his last match, while Van Persie was not even allowed to make it off the bench against Hull. Patrice Evra is another man with a great Manchester United legacy, and yet, for his last Old Trafford match against Hull, the chance to say goodbye in front of his home fans, he was left out of the matchday squad. As was Rio Ferdinand. Ji-sung Park is a Champions League winner for the club, and yet this this was his last 3 months at Man United. I mean, where was his send-off? What, an hour on the right wing in the defeat at the Etihad? Before again, back to warming the bench? Again, he was a modern-day Manchester United cult legend, and yet still, Alex Ferguson made him rot in the wilderness, and then tossing him out the QPR like a dried fig roll. Mikel Sylvester, French defender with 249 games for the club. I mean, his last Manchester United match was sitting on a bench at Wigan. Johnny Evans gave 20 years of his life to this club, but even in a dead rubber final day match again against Hull, he wasn't even allowed to make the squad. I mean, his last game at Old Trafford was in February 2015. And Jesse Lingard, he's in the same sort of Manchester United legacy bracket as Danny Welbeck. And again, no final home match send-off for him in 2014 either. Nah, Ryan Giggs didn't even let him sit on the bench. Jesse Lingard might have played a lot of games for Man United, yes, but I'm sorry, for an attacking midfielder for Manchester United to have registered 20 Premier League goals in 6 seasons for the club, and he thinks he's entitled to a red carpet farewell party? What? Why? Because he scored a cup final winner against Crystal Palace 6 years ago? I mean, so? Theo Walcott scored in 2 cup finals for Arsenal, and his last Premier League start came for then 8 months before he was sold. But I don't remember his brother whining about such an ungrateful way to end 12 years of service. Sentiment of football is dead.
Jesse Lingard is upset with Ralph Rangnick being denied an Old Trafford farewell appearance against Brentford. Sources close to Lingard say he was dismayed by Rangnick's decision to send on Edison Cavani ahead of him.
Forget sentiment for a minute. Offering me the chance to choose between Lingard or Edison Cavani? Oh, go back 10 years ago, and that's like struggling to choose between picking Jermaine Genius or Samuel Eto'o. What is he complaining about? It's not as if he's been kept in some dungeon locked underneath the training ground without food or water for 9 months. No, last month you played an hour at Old Trafford against Norwich in central midfield and were then given 80 minutes in the biggest game of the season away at Anfield, replacing Paul Pogba after 10 minutes. Was he grateful to be brought back in from the cold? No! Even then he was still complaining.
Lingard says he expected a start for United at Anfield.
Listen, if I'm Jesse Lingard, there's only one place to go this summer, and that's Roma. Get out of England and start over in Serie A. Because Lingard was one of the few players that Jose Mourinho actually liked at Old Trafford. He saw something in the guy and played him nearly every week. I think Jose could mould Jesse into a disciplined number 8 in central midfield. I mean, let's be honest, if you want your England place back on the plane for the World Cup, it's better to become a central midfielder, a number 8, than a winger. Because there's absolutely no reason why a disciplined Lingard in central midfield does not wrestle a World Cup place off that plane from Conor Gallagher or James Ward-Prowse. Move to Rome, link up with Smalling and Tammy, carve out a midfield spot and start over again. But as for your Manchester United career, please just move on and stop whining. Anyway, that's what you think, and let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the whole Lingard fuss. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe as always. I'll talk shit a while.